Yeah, dude. That's actually a good idea. Can I have my drink?
My fucking style. It's not ready yet.
Did you finish? Did I finish mine?
No, I finished mine.
Oh, let me finish this one first. My tits in this shirt, the Skims tank, my little nips.
You look good.
They better because I've had 2 kids. I'm getting a little insecure about my boobs.
Why?
Because they're fucking little rocks and socks.
Well, rocks and socks.
They are.
Little mosquito bites.
Okay, welcome to What's the Recipe podcast. Guys, it looks a little different because my usual co-host, my husband, Lucas, is not here. He is dearly missed, but instead...
R.I.P.
Don't put that into the ether. But instead...
Well, it sounded like he said he will be dearly missed.
Poor choice of words. My dear friend Anna is filling in for Lucas. Hi, Anna.
Hey, thanks, Lucas, for letting me take your spot.
It's kind of like you've been here before.
I have.
Yeah, you have. If you guys haven't listened to our episode with Anna in Blind Tiger, she's the founder of Hooch Booch. We'll get into it because we're going to make some drinks. As you can see, we are in the kitchen, and usually I always say, let's get into the kitchen when I'm doing an intro for people and we're doing an interview. But today's a little different, and if you're not watching on YouTube, you have to watch on YouTube.
You have to watch on YouTube this time because we're talking about our meal.
And
we're going to show you.
It's experiential. We're having a little girls' night. Again, Lucas is not here, so it's just Anna and I. The kids are down. My fill-in husband.
Got you.
And we're having a girls' night. We're going to drink some cocktails, and we're going to show you guys what we made for dinner. We made some Mediterranean bowls, so we'll get into it. But we're going to start in the kitchen because we're already in the kitchen. And we're actually going to start with drinks. So, Miss Anna, can you guide us through what we have tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a Mediterranean-inspired drink, but it is National Margarita Day.
Yep.
So I brought tequila.
Yep.
I brought our Lounge Lizard Hooch Booch flavor, which is an inspiration from a Paloma, grapefruit sage, a little bit of smoke. We call this drink the Smoke and Mirrors. It's a little bit smoky.
This by itself, too, is also my favorite Hooch Booch flavor.
Yeah, it's so
Lounge
good.
Lizard, I mean, Rum Runner, but Rum Runner is not like a staple.
It's a seasonal.
It's a seasonal. So
you can't get her all year long.
even though, can you give me the hookup? Because
Yeah,
I do want her all
of course I
year
can.
long.
Yes.
Do you guys even have them in stock right now, or do you brew them
Only
seasonally?
the 16 ounce. We have a couple left.
Oh.
Come on down.
Okay, I need to. But the Lounge Lizard is my
You gotta
fave.
like
So let's-
ask and wink, you know?
Let's show.
Okay,
I
Lounge
actually don't know
Lizard.
how to wink, so I don't have
Just blink twice.
Okay, so these are what the Lounge Lizards look like. Also, the branding, the this is called the branding?
Yeah, the branding.
Yeah, the branding is just
packaging.
The packaging, that's the word I was looking for, is so good. The little lizard guy. So Anna's gonna make us some drinks. Tell us how to make it.
Okay, so Lounge Lizard. Can I set this down?
I'll hold it for you.
Okay.
We're experimenting tonight, guys. Okay.
Okay, Lounge Lizard.
She's also so tall that she's not in the frame. Guys, start it from the bottom, but we'll get there. Okay, guys.
Tiny little bit of tequila.
Wait.
Tiny bit of tequila. I would say about a half an ounce.
Just eyeball it, guys.
If I had a jigger, I'd be using a jigger, but I don't. So half an ounce.
What's a jigger?
The little cocktail thing that measures the shot. Jigger.
Like a shot glass?
No. It has like a small little thing on top and it tapers in and then it goes out at the bottom.
We have one.
Well, you didn't tell me. So we're eyeballing tonight. And I'm gonna hold on the mezcal for my girl Mans because she doesn't like mezcal. She doesn't like smoky.
Yeah, I'm not a big like my drinks tasting like food. I don't like a Bloody Mary. I don't even like a spicy margarita.
Okay.
You hear that?
Ooh. You missed the crack. That's the most important part.
I know.
Next time. That's why we're experimenting. Okay, and then you just pour the Lounge Lizard on top. You garnish with the lime, and that's all we got for you.
Cheers.
Booch-a-rita.
Booch-a-rita.
It's really the Smoke and Mirrors, but...
Okay, so you guys can go into Blind Tiger and they can get the Smoke and Mirrors. It's on the menu.
Yes, it's on the menu.
Do you guys have the little like you brought over this like little garnish last time?
Yeah, so normally... Sorry, I didn't.
That was so fire.
Normally it comes with a chili charcoal rim. It's like tahini and charcoal, and it's so good.
So that's so interesting because I don't like a spicy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To us.
Thanks for. making the drinks and coming on the pod.
Absolutely.
Okay, I don't think I like tahini usually. Okay,
But
what
with
do
the
they use?
charcoal.
What do they use at like a Mexican restaurant with a spicy margarita? Is that tahini?
Yeah, tahini.
Okay, I don't know why I don't like it. I don't, but I loved what you brought over.
So we do like 1 part tahini, 1 part charcoal.
Okay,
So it's chili charcoal rim.
so it's more charcoal.
Yeah. Well, like
Does the
50-50.
Does charcoal? Oh, I'm terrible at math. Does the charcoal even have like a taste?
Not really, no.
No, it kind of just contributes to like the smokiness.
Yeah.
Okay, tell people what like the
I
lounges
feel like
are.
it's like deep and earthy.
It is.
Charcoal.
I agree.
Like charcoal is like deep earthy. So it gives it like a, like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like a grounding base.
Yeah,
It's not as like, yeah, I don't know.
it's
Anyways.
earthy. That's a perfect way
Yeah,
to describe
earthy.
it.
Earthy.
Okay, in the ingredients. Okay, first of all, what I love about Hooch Booch is you can literally read the ingredients on the fucking can, which is how it should be.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that it's so simple. What the fuck is the smoke extract? I've always been so curious.
So we get all of our extracts from a company called Gold Coast Organics, and they I don't actually know how they extract the smoke flavor, to be honest with you. Like normally when we use the oak for the old fashioned, we actually soak the drink on the oak. But with this one, like as if you would kind of like a wine barrel, they're like oak spirals. I don't know how they extract the oak. I'll ask for you.
Ask. You know what I'm thinking about?
I feel like they're like putting, you know, like when you go to a cocktail bar and they like put the little lid on the top.
Exactly.
That's like what I'm
thinking.
imagining. And then they like harness that flavor.
Exactly. And even when people do like Palo Santo drinks and then they burn the Palo Santo. And,
you can taste it in there. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm assuming they're doing like that condensed with water. Because like when I ask for the ingredient sheet, it's like just smoke and water.
You should do a reel on that, like how to actually get the smoke extract. That'd be so interesting.
Ooh, okay.
I'd watch it.
I'll ask. Okay.
Yeah. Do it.
Cool. Done.
Okay, let's actually
With
eat.
all the extra time.
Anna's probably like, it's 8 o'clock. Like, let's get this show on the road. So we're gonna show you guys how we make our bowls and what we're doing. So we have, this is like a little, well, Anna made this. So what is it? Like cucumber,
feta, tomato. I put a little bit of a shallot in there, and then I did red onion, a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper. Like so simple.
And everything smells delicious. We have our toppings here. We have our rice we're going to do in a second. And we have some chicken. I have spinach. Do we want spinach?
No.
No, I don't fucking want spinach either. Thank God.
I don't.
I only really like spinach in a smoothie, to be honest.
I don't like it on its own.
Yeah, no. Okay, so we're going to build our bowls. But I wanted to mention that this recipe is from Half Baked Harvest. And when Anna was coming over, we were like, okay, what do we want to do for dinner? And something about me is like, I'm not somebody, I like to cook, but my husband usually cooks, and I'm not somebody that like can whip up a recipe. Like I don't create recipes.
So you look it up.
I look it up.
Easy, fine.
Is that cheating?
No. It's ensuring a good dinner. Someone else did the hard work for you.
Exactly. And Half Baked Harvest is so good. She has so many good recipes.
Good.
And so this is one of her recipes, and I'll link it below for you guys if you want to make it too, because it's smelling, Pookie is smelling fire tonight.
Okay, I just found out about Pookie.
Stop, really? Just now?
Like 3 days ago.
That's just now.
Yeah. So Maria, my sister, told me about Pookie, and I started watching, and then I was like, oh, this is what Amanda and Lucas did. And she was like, yeah.
Oh, the little voiceover.
Yeah. With the little cheerleader skirt. And I can't stop watching their fucking content.
Wait, did you think that it was me saying that?
I knew it was a voiceover, but I didn't know who it was.
So
But now I know, like...
You know who Pookie and Jet are.
It's so cringy.
So
it's so fucking funny.
My old babysitter from growing up literally saw the video and was like, why does Lucas have a southern accent all of a sudden? I was like, this is a voiceover.
Thinking it's actually him.
Yes. So, yeah, we did a little voiceover of it. Or, yeah, we did a little TikTok of it. But I love Pookie and Jet. I love them.
They crack me up. I'm like, are people actually like this in real life?
Yeah, 100%. You know what he gives? Jet gives, like, retired frat boy who wasn't like
retired.
Like wasn't in like the coolest frat, but was in a frat in the South for sure.
Yep. Aren't all men from the South in a frat?
Yeah, but there's frats at Boulder.
Definitely, but I'm saying like.
Oh, you mean yes. It's way more common for guys in the South to be in a frat. Period. Because people aren't always in frats in.
You're like, it's giving guy from the South that's in a frat. I'm like, isn't every guy from the South in a frat?
But I'm more so thinking in like Alabama. You know, I don't know
We're
where
gonna
he
have
went.
to fact check and see where
We
he
should.
went.
That would be a pretty good guess.
Okay.
I mean, I'm from Florida. I feel like I have pretty good guesses because everyone goes to those SEC schools.
Yeah.
It was definitely an SEC school for sure. But
Where do you think Pookie went?
Pookie seems like she went to the same college as Jet. And she was like,
But that's not how they met.
She was in like the, no? I don't know the
Listen to
origin
their story. So she's a flight attendant.
Wait, maybe I did know this.
She like was 3 hours late to their date. And he was like waiting there for her. She was like flying in from
Okay.
like a flight. I watched I told you I found out about them 3 days ago and I
you're
can't
obsessed.
stop watching.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing I see on my For You page. And then of course I'm hooked. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Like, how are so many people consuming this content? He's like, he wears the same thing every day.
I don't look at him. I don't look at his outfit because it's all about Pookie's outfit.
But what's funny is that he goes into his after.
I know he does. And he's like, here's my ODOTT.
No, and then he goes, and you know where the jeans are from.
Oh, he says
Every
that?
time.
Okay, I need to actually binge Pookie and Jet content.
You need to binge.
But I did see that, and you know what I thought? You know what I thought was the funniest part about that?
What?
Was that he was like, she was 3 hours late, and all of the staff knows that I take
That I go to dates there. And he like got stood up, but he didn't.
He's like, I take all the women to this.
They got
for their
married
first
after like
date.
a year.
Oh, they did?
Quicker, I think.
Well, it worked out for them. Look at them now.
Slay.
We love Pookie and Jet. Actually, if you guys want to come on the podcast, the door is always open.
Seriously.
Seriously.
Shitting on them. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
love them.
No, I love them too.
I love you, Pookie and Jet. Actually, Jet, do you want to review my outfit? It's Skims. It's new. Okay, hold my
Hey, they
mic.
came out with swimwear today.
Pookie and Jet?
No. Skims. I just got a message.
Wait, that just registered after I said it. They've been doing that, though.
I thought it said like new drop. Maybe it's just
Well, maybe it's a new
swimwear.
collection.
It's cute.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where the fuck are we going
I
to wear swimsuits in Colorado?
I immediately sent it to Griffin and I was like,
Should we go to Mexico?
I'm in the market. I'm going on a trip next month. So I was like,
to Mexico?
no.
Where?
Anguilla.
Where's that?
Bahamas, BVI, somewhere down there. An island, small.
Is it open invite?
It's kind of like a couple's trip.
And you didn't invite Lucas and I?
As in like my mom and dad, Maria and her boyfriend.
And you didn't invite Lucas and I?
Let me ask.
No, we probably
I
can't
bet they
come. We
say
have
yeah.
kids.
Bring the kids. Honestly, my parents would love that.
Well, absolutely then. Okay, hold my mic. We're gonna
You go
assemble
first.
these. Okay. I gotta pull this out first. You gotta take over. Tell them what I'm doing.
Okay, so we marinated the chicken in the tzatziki. How'd you do the rice?
Literally just
What kind of rice?
so it's basmati rice, organic. Always want to make sure you have organic rice because rice is heavily sprayed with
Really?
yeah, all grain typically is.
I always just buy organic in general to be safe.
It's the way to go. So then I just literally rinsed it. You want to make sure you rinse your rice.
Rinse.
You're not
I don't
rinsing
rinse
your
my rice.
Anna.
I'm learning so much.
Okay.
Okay, rinse my rice and buy organic,
You have
even though I
to
always buy organic. Okay.
Buy organic.
Yes, ma'am.
Step one. You have to rinse the rice because if not, it's okay. Okay, whenever you do rice, you know when you cook rice and it's very like murky water. It's like white.
milky.
You want to get all that shit off. That's the starch. That's like also you just want to rinse it. I don't know the science behind it, but you have to rinse your rice. It cooks so much better.
Okay.
And so what you do is you do a cup of rice, 2 cups of water. I actually think I did 3 for this because it just seemed like it needed more. You do a little bit of olive oil,
Olive oil. I can see it
salt,
on there.
pepper, and then you see the olive oil on there?
It looks shiny.
Is that a compliment?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Looks good.
Good.
Our rice is glistening.
She's glowing. So then you do salt and pepper. You can do like any other spices you want. You can do onion powder, whatever, but I just did salt and pepper because I wanted it to be simple because all of this other flavors.
Yeah, we have a lot of flavor going on. Okay.
So that's it. You need to make sure you're rinsing your rice.
Rinse
Get a
the
really
rice.
fine. You can either do it in the bowl and just rinse it out, or
Go ahead.
get a really fine mesh strainer.
Mesh strainer for the rice. All right. Oh, and she serves me too.
Of course.
Love. Thank you. Okay, and then for our accoutrements, we have I know, but I'm going to tell them what's on the plate. Okay, so we have green onion, the same tzatziki that we marinated the chicken in. We did chicken thigh. I'm kind of a chicken thigh girl over breast these days. Thigh.
Chicken thigh is elite. Chicken breast is giving peasant.
Yeah, it's just not good.
It's also dry as fuck.
It's so dry. I can't handle it. Okay, So we've got the rice. We've got our tzatziki marinated chicken thigh. Do not get it twisted. Not a breast.
Chicken breast is giving menopause, and chicken thighs is giving youth.
It's giving hot girl 20s.
Please tell me you get that.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so then we have the salad that I already discussed earlier. Avocado, a little more dill in case we're feeling dilly.
Always feeling dilly.
Feta, little crumbles, and what are these peppers?
Pepperoncinis.
Oh yeah, pepperoncinis. I've already
Never had pepperoncinis.
No, I've already had a couple.
Is this your first time?
No, I feel like I've had them on like pizzas before.
Yeah, they're always.
They're good on pizzas. And then, Mans, what's the dressing?
It's a ginger tahini dressing. So
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
I think that's enough chicken, yeah.
Yeah, it's plenty. Yeah, of course. This looks great. Okay.
Also, Lucas is out of town, so I'm just behind on dishes and stuff, so all of my dishes are literally in the dishwasher. So that's why we're using this spot to scoop things. Okay, so let's put our accoutrements on. Okay, you were in the hospitality industry. Accoutrements. What would you classify as an accoutrement?
I would say like anything to like zhuzh up the dish.
I knew you were going to say zhuzh.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I don't know if there's a better word. It's like you already have like the base, but like there's something that you need a little bit more of. It's like bread and olive oil. Like, you know, you need a little something more.
Okay. So
I'm trying to think of what else I would consider like an accoutrement.
Because I get kind of confused about like, I guess I feel like sometimes appetizers can be
I think so, yeah.
not disguised, mistaked for
Oh, yeah.
accoutrements. Also, I think about a charcuterie board with little accoutrements on it.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, it's like little minis, you know?
Little minis.
I
Okay.
feel like that's what it is.
I probably should have.
Do you want like a
used
little
my
dollop
fork.
of tzatziki on top?
Absolutely. I'm a sauce girl through and through.
I'm not a sauce girl. Hot take. Not a sauce girl. Like tzatziki, yes, it feels like more of a dip to me.
Wait, but dip is kind of like just a thicker glorified sauce.
No.
Why aren't you a sauce girl?
Ugh, I know.
What about like aiolis?
Nah. Not
Like
really.
if you're having a burger, you don't want like mustard and ketchup and like sauce on that.
No,
bitch?
not really. Not like a plain hamburger, but like.
By the way, if you were a plain hamburger,
That's
we would
psychopath.
have to have a conversation. Hold on, I need to. My nails are so overgrown that I got avocado underneath them. So just give me a second.
Ooh. Yeah, those nails are from your birthday weekend. They're birthday nails. I'm just dolloping this on you.
I don't want to talk about that because that's literally like almost a month ago. And
Is it really?
Yeah, dude.
Didn't you say you keep yours for like 3 weeks though?
I do, which is the nice thing because like a bitch doesn't have money like that, and also I don't have time like that.
It's the time. It's the time.
It's the
for me.
time.
I stopped getting mine done like a couple months ago.
Okay, how are you doing the dill?
I don't know. I was just gonna kind of like garnish it.
Okay, I like that idea.
I think you need to bring this closer. Wow, that was so scary. I'm just going in.
That's called being a mom. You always just risk
What'd
it.
you do? You avocadoed with your fingers? I'm nervous about that.
I do everything with my fingers. I eat sushi with my fingers.
That's fine. That's not that weird.
Because I started eating sushi with Lucas, actually. And he just was like, fuck chopsticks. Let's just use our fucking fingers. And I was like, I'm in love with you.
Honestly, that's fair.
I messed up.
See, I thought I was going to spill mine, but I didn't. Okay.
Okay. So this is what they look like. Beautiful.
The bowls, like, really make them look pretty, too.
They do. These bowls are actually, I think, from...
They're pretty.
I think they're from either Free People or Anthropology. I think Anthropology would
They
make
look
more
like
sense.
Anthropology, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're
I don't
Anthropology.
think Free People does.
Yeah, no, you're right. But they're like
Right.
sister brands, huh?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do a little taste test.
Are you like a mix it all together kind of
Oh,
gal?
100%.
Okay.
Are you not?
I don't know. Like sometimes yes, sometimes no.
See, I just hope that the chicken's not like too stale.
Stale. Why would it be stale? You're really making me excited about it.
I meant like dry. Like it sat for too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good though. Mmm.
Wow.
Good, huh?
The flavors are really good. Honestly, Lucas is missing out. I think he'd be proud.
I do too. We should take a picture for him.
Okay, you know what it tastes like? So I listened to the podcast where he was talking about the different flavors in cooking. It's very umami.
Yes. What's umami again?
Umami is like when it's not
like rich. Was that what it is?
Yeah, like rich. Like I feel like the best way to describe umami is like tahini. Like tahini is like umami. It's like very savory, very like deep. Again, rich in flavor. It's a rich flavor.
Agreed. Okay.
Ah, damn, this is good.
This is fucking good. We're gonna enjoy this, and we'll see you in a bit. Okay, we've been sitting here and just eating a little bit because I told Anna that I was so hungry I needed to just like get some food in me first.
Ugly eat.
Yeah, I need. I love that term. I haven't heard that term.
Ugly eat. It's like ugly cry, but ugly eat.
Literally, I needed to ugly eat for a second. I've never heard that term.
I think I just made it up. I don't think it's a thing.
It's so good. This is so fucking delicious. If you like Mediterranean food,
It's really good.
You have to try this. Again, I put the recipe in the link below. But we were just sitting here shooting the shit, kind of talking shit, spilling the tea, and we figured, why don't we just press record and just get into it? But I think the first thing we should start with is Anna obviously owns Hooch Booch, and you're 27.
27.
27.
Almost 28.
I think we should talk about, because we got some questions and we'll get into some of the questions, but I think we should talk about success in your 20s, what that looks like for you, what it doesn't look like for you, what it's expected to look like, what people think it looks like. I just feel like, you know, you're a business owner and you're killing it and you're crushing it in your beverages in so many places. How do you navigate that? What does success look like to you? And also, let's get into kind of how you vet people, vet friends, because I think it's important to surround yourself with people who are also successful.
Yeah. I feel like success like can take so many different forms, and I feel like it means so many different things to different people. Like I feel like when we get like a good press opportunity, or when we land a new retailer, or our sales numbers increase, I'm like, that's what success looks like. You know, it's like having those logos in our pitch deck of like Target, Whole Foods, Red Rocks. Like that to me is like a milestone. But I think there's so many things along the way that also show success. Like starting something at a certain age is also success, you know? And I think I had gotten so tied to what success looked like and saying like, if we don't expand to 3 to 5 states this year, like that's not successful. When in reality, we opened a tap room and then kind of pivoted to a non-alcoholic beverage. And like, that's now it's success in its own right. And I think...
Wait, why did you pivot?
So we were on a team brainstorm talking about potential new flavors for Hooch Booch. And someone came up with the classic Corpse Survivor cocktail and was like, not a lot of people know about it, but it's like really cool and unique. And it was a cocktail that was made with absinthe, so like very botanical forward. And absinthe back in the 1800s was considered medicinal. Like it was like meant to cure what ailed you. Like it was like hair of the dog, like OG. And
wait, for like colds or like...
No, for like hangovers.
No
like,
way.
Yeah.
What is absinthe?
It's like a very, very, very high proof spirit that's made with like anise, cardamom, lemon, like a bunch of botanicals, like 15 botanicals or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but something like that, like a crazy amount of botanicals. And so we were thinking about it, and then we're like, what if we made a non-alc with that? And the name just kind of stuck. And then like we thought about it and we were like, okay, like maybe making a hydration beverage that was like your actual Corpse Survivor. And then there was like a lot of shifts, or has been a lot of shifts in consumer preferences, people maybe drinking less or mixing in a non-alc in between drinking. And I would also say like growing in alcohol is very difficult. Like it's the state by state rules. It's
in general or as a woman?
Both. It's hard in alcohol, period, and it's 10 times harder, I would say, alcohol as a woman, especially in the beer category. Like, I feel like it's kind of sexy for, like, wine, and it's kind of sexy for spirits, But like we live in the beer category and like it's not really that sexy for beer.
Wait, that's so, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
I get that though. That makes sense.
Like being like a sommelier that like comes to the table and like opens the bottle and is like, let me tell you all about this wine.
But like cracking one.
Yeah.
Cracking one open.
It's just not like, it's not luxury. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's not like luxury hospitality.
But I look at this and I do think luxury.
It is. And that was like what was inspired. Like that's like what we tried to do. I don't know. I think to bring it back to success, like the anchor point that I come back to is like when we first started, and I don't know if I shared this in the first podcast or not, but like when we first started, I'd go around town and I'd say, I started this company called Hooch Booch. Basically like no one knew about it, right? Year 1, year 2, some people had heard of it or said, I think I've heard of you before. And now it's like I go around town and I'm like, I own a company called Hooch Booch. We're a hard kombucha company based out of Denver. And they're like, I know of you. I've seen you at an event, or I've seen you at X, Y, and Z, or I've been to the tap room, or I know about you. And it's like, those are like the little things that I'm like, oh, it's like brand awareness. Like brand awareness is success. That's not tied to revenue. That's not tied to this. That's not tied to that. And that's just all success in business. That doesn't even scratch the surface of the rest of life, you know?
How the fuck do you balance being a 27-year-old with like friends and social life and also having drive? Because I think that's like the hardest thing for me too as a mom and someone who has dreams and goals. Like I want to be a successful content creator, but I also want to be a successful podcast host. I also want to be a successful mom and wife. Where do friends fit in? Like how do I balance that? And I've had so many friends, which by the way, I feel like this is not what we're bringing into 2024 is high maintenance friends. But I've had so many friends being like, you're not making time for me, or like you're canceling our plans, or just like being needy and not understanding that I'm driven and I have other things going on. How do you navigate that? Because I think for me, finding people who are also driven has been a game changer for me. So how do you navigate that?
I feel like I've lost a lot of friends since I started my business, but I've also gained equally the same amount, if not more, through the work that I've been doing. I feel like for me, it's like an energetic thing. Like I feel like it's funny in like the Clayton Entrepreneurship Club a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about like, what about your business gets you juiced? And it's like we as entrepreneurs like have to stay like juiced. Like we have to keep doing things that like get us excited, that get us motivated. And I think there's certain friends, certain people that I get around that I'm like, oh my God, I leave the conversation and I'm like juiced the fuck up. And I'm like, I could go run a half marathon even though I hate running. But I like feel so juiced leaving. And then I think there's other conversations where I leave, and it's funny because I talk to Griffin a lot about this, and I leave and I'm like, and it sounds awful to say this, but it's true. Like, I could probably just like not do that again. And it's really hard to say. And it's friends that I've had for a really long time. And it's hard to leave that and be like, like I wish it was different. Mm-hmm. But I'm also like, I think I'm just at a very different stage in my life. And so I'm looking to bring in friends like you that like we catch up when we can. And if I don't respond, like you're not like,
where are you?
Yeah. Questioning my message or something, you know, like it's just, I feel like it has to be like a similar stage, mm-hmm. like similar life timing. Mm-hmm. Kind of.
Yeah, I agree with that because also I was talking to Lucas about it, but I was hanging out with somebody and I just felt like everything that I was saying was kind of like having an eye roll about. Like everything I was talking about with my dreams and my goals, like they were having an eye roll about. Mm-mm. That's not like if you're gonna roll your eyes, you can get out of my house. You know what I mean? Or you can leave you can leave. And I just
like as if like they were too big or like they were weird.
No, more so just like, like it was more so like the conversation of my dreams and goals felt like it was something that they didn't want to talk about and they would rather just dismiss or like they were jealous of. It was like jealous energy. Mm. And I don't think that jealous energy is conducive to a healthy relationship, whether it's romantic or friendship.
Yeah, and I would say jealous energy is very different from like I feel like a friend that's going through like a rough time in work or like a rough time in like a relationship, because I think like lately, given like the current state of the world, right? There's a lot of people that are getting laid off from their jobs or in a job that they don't like, but they have to stay because it's comfortable and it's safe right now. Obviously very different from a relationship. You know, it's something that gives you security, but I feel like there's conversations that I go into and then we go into problem solving mode of like, how do we fix this? How do we figure this out? Versus someone that's just like complacent and willing to stay in a place that they're just like not about. And I feel like what aligns both of us is like surrounding ourselves with people that are moving their lives forward, no matter what situation they're in. Yes, you can feel stuck. Yes, you can feel uncomfortable. And I think uncomfortable is where we start to shift and where we start to change. And that's like, if I'm not uncomfortable, if I'm not putting myself in uncomfortable situations, I'm not growing. I'm not changing. And that's like what entrepreneurship is. It's getting uncomfortable and learning how to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that Clayton has been good for you in community building?
Definitely. I feel like I always resonated with like an older, if you will, crowd. Like I feel like as I was young,
an old soul.
I am. But I feel like when I was younger, I was always hanging out with like older people, or like my parents would say like I was always like hanging out with like their friends. Like I would be like the kid that was like hanging out with their friends.
Yeah.
And
I relate to that.
I think that's like shaped a lot of like where I am now. And so I think, not that people at the Clayton are old, but I feel like,
by the way, if you're listening and you're not in Denver, Clayton is how would you describe the Clayton?
Like a social club. It's like a
for creative
country club
for creative entrepreneurs,
but for cool people.
For people who are cool as fuck.
Yeah, it's a members club for people that are like-minded individuals. And you don't have to be a business owner. It is people that are like likely in business, or they want to use it for the pool or the facilities, or socializing. It's a social club. Yeah. That accepts women and people of color. No. But truly, like,
not like country clubs.
No, but honestly, like I walk in there and I'm like, wow, this is a diverse group of people. Like, this is cool. Like, I'm going to learn something from these people. And the entrepreneurship club has been really awesome. And they also do a lot of really interesting programming events. I mean, you and I went to one for human design. They just do a lot of interesting, cool programming events, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like if you are an entrepreneur, or you're just like somebody who is driven, you have goals, you have dreams, you want to do something cool and you want to do something with your passions and just start something, create something, you have to surround yourself with people who are about that, people who are also doing the same thing. And if your friends are not supporting that, arm's length, keep them at arm's length. Like, I don't know. I'm so brutal with that shit. Like, if you are not supporting me, you can...
I'm not brutal with it. I just, like, don't really give it the time of day. Like...
Yeah.
I feel
that's what I mean. Like, quick to close it. Quick to, like, cut it off a little bit.
Yeah, or just, like, not available.
Yeah.
Not available.
Yep.
Yeah, my time... And I think I've learned to say no to things, like, a lot more. Like, I've just been, like... Or... I literally the other day was on the way driving to like a Galentine's thing. I just finished like speaking on a panel, and I was like, God, my mental energy, my, and I'm an extrovert. I was feeling drained, and I was driving to like a Galentine's Day, called Griffin, and I was like, I don't want to go. I just don't want to go. I had this like gut feeling of like, ugh, like.
And you're a manifesting generator, so your gut is like. Gonna tell you.
And I'm like, I am tired. It's been a really long day. It's been a really long couple of weeks. We got a lot going on. I don't want to go. And he's like, don't go. Just don't go. Then why would you go? And he's so matter of fact in that way. But it's funny because I'd called my mom before and we were chatting and she was like, oh my God, just go. You're going to have a great night with the girls. And I just, in the middle, literally driving down I-25, got off the off-ramp, turned around and went home. And I felt great about it.
Did you even text them and say, like, I'm not coming?
Yeah, when I got home.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 of the gals that I was actually close with, but the rest I'm just like,
yeah.
I haven't even had a chance to get to know them, and they've now kind of like formed this new group, but it was like friends that I initially had after college, and I'm like, you know, if I'm feeling that hesitation and I just like am not feeling it, I know that I'm not going to show up in the best way, and I was depleted, I was drained, and like, I know I would just be showing up to say like, oh, I went. Like, what, do I get a gold star? Like, no, like, I just didn't want to go.
Right.
Don't go.
First of all, we need to talk about Griffin for anybody who doesn't know. Griffin is Anna's boyfriend, and he is incredible. I love Griffin so much. Tell people how you guys met. Also, I'm making myself another one of these.
Do you want tequila?
Yeah. I do.
Okay. Yeah, so Griffin is my boyfriend. I've known Griffin for like
You just said
8
that
years.
like you just said that like Taylor Swift and Karma. Griffin is my boyfriend. Griffin is the
Which is something I'd probably sing. So I've known him since college. I went to college with his brother Dave. Shout out Dave for connecting us. I feel like Lucas does that. Shout out. Yeah. So I'm gonna shout out Dave in Lucas's honor. Yeah, so Griffin used to always come visit us in college. So they're the same age and they're brothers. Griffin always used to come out and visit us. He was like going to school in Lincoln and Nebraska for a little while. And then he was like sailing boats around the world. So maybe, actually, we just talked about this last night. 2 Novembers ago, not this last November, but the November before, he had just gotten off his last boat job. He was a engineer on super yachts and super sailing yachts, I should say. Sailing boats. He got off the boat. We went to a concert with my friend Rachel and I and our friend Dave, Griffin's brother. And I was talking a lot of shit about my ex-boyfriend. And I was like, I don't know, like if we should be together, blah, blah, blah. And I'm moving on Friday and he's not even offering to help me move. And Griffin was like, oh,
and you were dating him at this time. Your
we had
ex-boyfriend.
We had like gotten back together after we weren't together for like 2 years. We dated for like 2 years before that, not dated for 2 years. And then, yeah, we'd gotten back together. And Griffin was like, fuck that guy, I'll help you move. And I'm like, oh my God, bestie Griffin, you know, like we've been friends. Like I was like, wow, that's so sweet of him. Fun fact, he actually bought like one of our first ever hats of merch. And he was like, someone once told me if you want to support someone in business, buy their product. Like don't ask what you can do, but rather like just buy their product. Like that's like the best support you can give. And so he was like, I saw that you had launched Hooch Booch and like I saw his order come through and I was like, wow, that's so nice. Like Griffin random, but okay, that's so nice.
What did he order? A hat?
Yeah, like a pink Hooch Booch trucker.
Love.
Pink, of course.
I love that. That's so him.
Yeah, he is such a free spirit and he does whatever the fuck he wants all the time. So yeah, so he's like, fuck that guy, I'll help you move on Friday. So he shows up, helps move all day long. He like has his truck. He now says, yeah, I wore like a tight shirt, like I shaved in the morning. And I'm like, oh, I literally wore like the ugliest outfit of my life. And I was like,
you were totally going into it.
I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that.
You're like, this is my bestie.
Bestie Griffin. And I told Maria, I was like, my sister, I was like, yeah, so Griffin's showing up and she's like, who's that? I'm like, just a friend. So helps me move all day. We get all the stuff to my new apartment. Everything's moved in and he's like, yeah, so yeah, I don't make beds I don't sleep in, gotta go. And I was like, excuse me? I literally said, excuse me? He's gonna hate me for saying this. And he was like, yeah, I don't make beds I don't sleep in. I know you got some stuff to work on, but you know, next time I'm in town, I'd love to take you on a date if things have changed. And I was like, wow, I was just not expecting that.
Yeah, so what were you thinking? Did you love the forwardness or what?
I loved the forwardness. But at the time, like, I was just like, I definitely have shit to sort out.
Yeah.
So that night I dumped my boyfriend. I did. It was bad. Like I hadn't seen him in like 2 weeks. Things were really bad. And I don't even know if I would call him my boyfriend at the time. Like we were just kind of like recently getting back together. Yeah. And honestly, like nothing, I would literally say nothing bad about him. It just wasn't, it wasn't working. It wasn't working. And yeah, so anyways, Griffin was moving a boat at that time from like, I don't know, somewhere on the East Coast to Belize. And at that time, Belize was like having a hurricane.
Okay.
So he like a hurricane is about to hit. He's like helping people board up their homes when he gets there. He like is not sure he's going to like make it in and get out in time. So anyways, he's boarding up homes. He finally like gets on a flight out. He comes here and he's like, all right, like I'm ready to take you on my date. This is like, I don't know, a month, 2 months later or something. And I was like, yeah, so your timing's a little bit bad. I've got to go to the mountains to our brewery. And I'm like, not available. And he's like, I'll go with you. And I was like, really?
Did you love that?
Yeah, I did. I was like, because normally I'd go by myself, and I was just so used to like being independent and going and doing the thing on my own. And I was like, actually, that'd be kind of nice to have some company. And he has a place in Keystone, which is where we stayed for your birthday. And he was like, we can stay at the Keystone house. Like, if you want to go up there, like, you know, no pressure, whatever. And I was like, I've already booked a hotel, like, right by. But I was like, let's just go. Let's go. So he, like, goes to the brewery with me all day, is, like, asking them all these questions, like, super involved in the process. Yeah, and then he took me out to dinner that night. He had already found a spot and booked dinner for us. We went to dinner.
Wait, where?
Near the hotel.
Where, like, what mountain are you talking about?
So our brewery is like 30 minutes past Beaver Creek.
Okay.
But like it was off season. So we went somewhere like randomly in Avon. It was like an Italian restaurant. And it was so good. He like bought me a really nice dinner. And I was like, should I be paying for this? Like it's a work trip.
I can write it off.
It was just so silly, but it was so fun. And it felt...
Did he stay in the hotel room with you?
Yeah. It just felt so comfortable. I was like, it feels like he like... Well, because we've known each other for so long.
Did you express interest that night?
I don't think we expressed anything. I think it was just like we were having fun.
Yeah,
you know, like I think I was still just like equally as shocked about his forwardness.
Yeah,
like, I just always thought we were friends, and now talking about it, he was like, "No, Anna, like literally, I've always thought you were attractive. I've always liked you. You were just always taken."
I also feel like you were always taken, but then you probably were also like. Work was you know, one track mind, like very just focused. You didn't see the hints probably.
Definitely not.
And you're like, no, this is just my friend. He wants to spend time with me.
Nope.
He's like, no, I want to get in your pants.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah, here we are.
Griffin is awesome. He actually did write in a question and said, can you guys talk about sex in the workplace?
Yeah, so if you don't know Griffin, that's the kind of question he asks.
We should talk about that though.
Should we? What do you think about sex in the workplace?
Actually, I've never worked in a workplace.
Whoa, hot take. Not even a hot take, just a interesting fun fact. Fun fact, Amanda's never had a workplace besides this kitchen.
Besides the damn kitchen. I'm such a wife. I worked.
No, you are a content creator.
I'm a content creator. I worked at a acupuncture clinic when I was in college, and I did front desk. That was like the only place I ever really worked. I worked at Urban Outfitters actually for like a month.
I've dated a coworker. Don't ever do it. Sex in the workplace. Don't do it. And then he turned into my boss.
Oh, so there was a power trip.
Oh yeah, it was so bad. And then he was like, yeah, we can't be doing this. And I was like,
wait, back it up. You guys started dating when you're on the same level?
No, I wouldn't say same level.
He was a little above you in the workplace?
I mean, like I was like an intern.
Okay.
But he wasn't my supervisor.
Okay.
My direct report.
And then when he became your supervisor.
Then like my bestie who was like my manager at the Ritz left, and he came to step in.
And he totally changed?
Yeah, and then he was like, no, we can't do this. But then would like kind of go iffy back and forth, and I was like, nah, I don't think we can do this.
Okay. That gives me such an ick.
Such a specific moment.
That gives me like small dick energy.
It was. And I remember this one really specific moment that I'd gone over to his house, and I was like, this was like right when this went down, and I was like wearing lingerie. I was feeling like so hot. And he broke the news that like this happened and like we couldn't be doing this anymore. And I was like, oh, so do I just leave now? Like, oh my God, it was so bad.
You're like, so what am I supposed to do with it?
I was like, where's my sweatshirt? Like, I just want to cry. Like, yeah, this is so long ago. I just remembered it.
That's fucking terrible.
It was awful.
Ew, so don't do it.
Yeah, small dick energy. Yeah, so then I left. I remember like that night. And then we kind of like started seeing each other again after that.
Anna.
I know.
Why?
Because he's kind of a bad boy. He had a lot of secrets that I wanted to find out.
Do you like a bad boy?
I think maybe in a past life I did.
I think you also like, and this is just my observations, you're so driven and regimented and have a lot of responsibility. I think you like somebody who has that free-spirited nature. You need it.
Oh yeah, that's like Griffin to a T.
Yeah. You need that. You need
like
that
someone
goofy
that
energy.
keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
Like if you're predictable and you're like a basic finance bro, which
jet?
was my type.
A jet from...
Yeah, I'm out on that. Yeah. I get so bored so quick.
Yeah.
My mom's like snapping her fingers in the back being like, yeah. But truly.
She's snapping her fingers in the back?
Yeah, she's like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You know?
Does your mom snap a lot? Is that her thing?
No, I'm just saying, like, she's like in the back being like, yeah. No, I don't think so.
Okay, we talked about how do you define success. I really liked your advice on that, because I think that so many people define success as monetary success and financial success, and I think that that's like one thing I want to talk about for you that I have noticed with Anna, and I was just saying this off air, was I base everyone and how they run their business off of Anna as a standard, because Anna is so generous and so about building relationships, which I think is the key to a successful business. And everyone we've ever interviewed or talked to, my parents, friends, anybody who has had success talks about the importance of building relationships. And I think for you, what I would love to talk about is the generosity, I had this conversation with somebody that we just interviewed for the podcast about sometimes I think people in our generation don't want to do shit for free, when like sometimes you have to, and sometimes that's also like the way that you get like there's a payoff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think everyone's so money hungry these days that they don't realize that success can be other things besides money, and that also sometimes doing free shit can help you in the long term. And I think about that all the time too when I do like content creation or like trades with people. I'm doing free shit, but like, is it worth the payoff, you know?
Yeah. I feel like at the beginning we gave a lot away and I'd say we still give a lot away. But it's like, yeah, in a trade of sorts, or like, I don't know. I feel like relationships are invaluable. Like, I feel like right now I'm on this like, I don't even want to call it like networking journey, but like I'm on this journey of like reaching out to people that I find like really inspirational and like asking them a lot of questions. And I think that's one thing. Like, okay, so since day one, I've asked a lot of questions. This is like a fun little story. So when I was a child, I used to ask like an absurd amount of questions, and my mom had a really smart friend named Mr. Baxter. He was like a professor or something. And so anytime that I had a question that she didn't know the answer to, she'd be like, should we call up Mr. Baxter? And I'd be like, yes, let's call him up. And I was always like really inquisitive. And so I was always asking questions, and I'd be like, Mom, like, blah, blah, blah. Why is this da, da, da? Like, I had a bajillion questions. She's like, you never shut up. You had a bajillion questions. And I think about that now as an adult, and I think I go back to like question everything. Like just because someone tells you something, like that doesn't mean that's fact. And that's actually one thing that Griffin has also taught me a lot. Like I'll say something and he's like, are you sure about that? And like questions everything. But I feel like in a business, like, or just in general, like if you're looking to get somewhere or trying to do something, ask people that are already doing that thing, or ask someone who you think you might know. Like when we first started brewing, I like reached out to 30 brewers and I was like, how do you think we go about this? That's free advice right there. And I think so many people are willing to give that. It's just being able to put yourself out there in order to do
and ask
that.
it.
And so now I feel like on the reverse, like I've mentored now like 2 people that are starting their business that are like in college or younger, or just like young 20s that are like, hey, I'm trying to start this company. I've got a couple questions for you. And I'm like, absolutely. Absolutely. Because there's so many people that have done the same for me. Like I can't imagine being like, yeah, no, I'm not going to help you. Like, no, I'm not going to give you that. Like, I feel like it's kind of like a give and get what you take. And I feel like, yeah, I don't know.
That's how I feel about celebrities. And I just went on a rant on about this on my Instagram.
Go.
About how certain celebrities there are certain celebrities who make it very clear, do not come up to me if you see me in person. Like, I don't want to take a picture with you. I don't want to do whatever. And like other celebrities that like don't make it clear, but then like just also reject you whenever you do go up to them and say something like, hey, can I take a picture with you or whatever? I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Because as a celebrity, you are putting yourself out there, regardless if you wanted all the fame or not. You still chose this life.
Right.
And your fans are the reason that you're fucking here.
And have money.
Have money. And I fucking hate when they're like, I won't take a picture with you. I won't give you something. You're not that cool. I'm sorry. You're a human being just like everyone else. You're not that fucking cool. And there are so many people, even like I've heard this with influencers. I'm like, bitch, you got famous on the internet. Like, you have fans because people like you. Yeah. You're successful because people like you.
You're
to
doing
people
something that makes them interested.
and give something back to people. Like, why do we have this narrative that success equals like we don't do anything for free, or we don't be generous with things, or we don't like do favors? You know what I mean?
I feel like it's been this like boomer to Gen Z complete 180 shift of like, I mean, I'm sure you've got boomers in your life that are like, you know, this new generation just doesn't work at all, and they don't, you know, and it was like hustle culture, right? Like, I mean, my grandpa says it all the time, you know, your generation just doesn't want to work like people used to want to work. And he's like, you know, you and your sister are an exception and people aren't like that. And blah, 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 blah. And then I think Gen Z is quite the opposite. And Gen Z is like, I'm entitled to X, Y, Z. And I'm like on the edge. Like I'm definitely a millennial, but like Gen Z.
What are you classified? Are you?
I'm a millennial. Yeah. I like couldn't say that word for a second. Millennial. And I think Gen Z has been like, I'm going to pivot the complete other way. And I'm going to say, I went to college, so I deserve this money. And I think there's got to be this like happy medium of like, it's not all grind. Like, I feel like my grandpa always talks about like, you know, in the middle of the night, I used to go to the oil refinery and I used to fix things in the middle of the night and blah, blah, blah. And then on the other hand, you have my sister, who is most definitely a hard worker, but is like, I started my career in the pandemic. I was working from home. I could do my laundry. I could go to therapy. I could go to yoga in the morning. And it's just, there's been such a swing of the pendulum because I think life is moving so much quicker than it used to that it's just, I think it's going to balance itself back out. But I think we've swung so much the other way of saying like, I'm not going to do this unless you pay me. Now, I think there are definitely times where that's warranted. Like, there's people all the time that say, hey, can I get a donation of XYZ of your product? And it's like, what's the ROI, right? Like, what's the return on my investment for this? And so I think it has to sometimes feel like an equal exchange, but it doesn't always have to feel that way. There's people that do favors for me all the time. And then there's times when I do the favor, and it's like, I think ultimately what goes around comes around.
Yep. I love that. And I think that it's important for people to hear, because again, I think that there is that what you're saying with Gen Z too, is there is that like instant gratification piece that people want. Yeah. And it's not always the best thing for you, because what I had to realize too is like, I'm playing a long game. I'm not here for a quick cash grab
but people think that that's how it works.
True.
And people see that, right? People think, oh, on TikTok, I saw this one brand that went viral and now they're crushing it. Liquid Death is a great example.
Yeah.
They started I was just listening to a podcast, so it's fresh in my mind, like 2 days ago, about how their founder, like his whole concept behind it. And it's not for lack of hard work. He definitely like had a lot of thought and concepting behind it. But they're a brand that was making $3.5 million in their first year. That's not common. That doesn't happen.
You were?
Their first year of business. Yeah. Sustainable brands can often take a really long time to grow.
Yeah. I heard something too about just being in the content creator space too. People who go viral, like virality isn't necessarily longevity or longevity, because it's okay. Yeah, you had one video that maybe hit the mark. Can you do it again? And then again, and then again, and then again.
You were talking about that in the other podcast with country singer.
Oh, Colt Ford.
Yeah, yep. He talked about that.
Yep, he talked about,
and that people right now want to do that. They want to just say, I had this one video that got a lot of views, and it's like, but can you do that night after night, day after day? It's such a grind, and it is. Like, I'm here to say, like, if you're hesitant, if you're not ready to be hungry in like an entrepreneurial journey, like, you won't make it. It's tough. It's really fucking hard.
Yeah. I know you have to go, so I want to wrap this up, but I do want to ask one more question. I want to spill a little tea.
Okay.
In terms of like what in terms of like what you're seeing, it can either be like in business as an entrepreneur, with employees, or with like the social media space and like brands that you're seeing, maybe things that like you are seeing that you don't fucking like things that are giving you the ick, or like things that you think are just like not it.
That's a hard one. I would say that there's a lot of people that are projecting like X, Y, and Z about their business. And I think I myself can get caught in that all the time of like sharing our successes and sharing our wins. And I feel like some people do it like so much so, or like, you know, are constantly being like, blah, 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 we've been featured in this or featured in that. Or like, oh, no. My biggest thing is when people are like, I'm all about, you know, connecting with other women-owned businesses, and I'm all about supporting women-owned businesses and all this and all that. And then I'll like reach out to have a conversation and it's like crickets. And I'm like, so you're not actually though.
Wait, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Or like,
which
it goes
agree.
back to like the goes around. I'm like screaming. It goes back to the goes around comes around. And it's like, I just don't understand that. And I think there's so much that's like outwardly thinking like, I'm this level and you're this level, so we don't meet together. Mm-hmm. And that's just not the case at all.
Do you know the biggest mindfuck is like when I had maybe 7,000 followers to now I have like over 20,000, and it's like that puts me in a different caliber than people that I maybe looked up to that had like 13,000 or even just 10,000. Now it's like, oh, I look at them as like this, but it's not that. Like it should never be that of like,
no.
Of like, I'm here, you're here. Because guess what? That person could have a lot of success in social media and the next year and be exponentially more than me. And then what? Now I'm below them. Like it's
and then what happens when Instagram dies tomorrow? Exactly. And then you're no one again.
It's not real. And the whole
it's like, not defining. It's not
the hierarchy of it all is not real. There's no hierarchy. Everybody has a seat at the table and anybody can beat you. You know what I mean? And
also, there's always more room at the top.
And also,
and room for more, always room for more.
Can we talk about that though? Because I don't believe in like, there's one side of the coin where people are like, women support women. I will die for you. I will ride for you just because you have a vagina. I don't care what you think.
No,
I don't fall in that category.
No,
but then there's another part of it where it's like women supporting women. You're doing cool shit. I fuck with that. Also, by me fucking with that and supporting that, I know that I'm also going to benefit from that in a way too. Yeah. Like it only can benefit from you to support other women who are in your industry, who aren't in your industry. It can only benefit you. And I don't know why we're not doing that more.
Yeah. I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. I think I think we as women want to be like competitive in a way with other women, and I think the more that we do that, the more we just like push each other down. Like I think I saw this meme today that was like, I love seeing like a bad bitch making money. Like it like makes me like jump for joy. I don't know, I'll find it and I'll send it to you. But I was like, exactly that. Like we have been, and I have countless stories to share about ways that being a woman in the alcohol industry is like very, very hard.
Which is why you need to start your own podcast.
I know. Teaser for my own someday. Yeah, and I just feel like there's just like no more room for this like hate and pushing people out, or like I'm at this caliber, you're at this caliber. Like it doesn't really matter. Like if you're a founder, another founder is another founder. Like because you've raised X amount of money or you've gained X amount of retailers doesn't make you a better person, doesn't make you a cooler person. Nothing about that like defines you as a person.
And exactly what you were saying about what goes around comes around. What happens when you exponentially succeed way more than they do? What are they going to come crawling back and be like, alms for the poor? Like, what the fuck?
Well, I feel like it's just more fueled with fire. At least for me. I'm like, oh, I can't wait.
The amount of people that I have a list of people that when I do get to the place that I want to get, I'm literally going to send a cake that says fuck you on it. I have a list. A cake that says fuck you.
For all those that said
anonymous, not for me. They don't fucking know, but just fuck you.
Yeah, all those people that have maybe wronged me once or twice or said stupid shit that I'm like, you're going to regret that.
Yeah.
And I'll
Here's
show
your
you.
cake and you can eat it too.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, I love it. Well, we need to wrap up because I know you need to leave.
Yeah.
It's late. But thank you so much for coming on What's the Recipe podcast.
Yeah, this was so fun.
I know. And guys, just stay tuned because Lucas and I have a lot of cool concepts and ideas that we're trying to work on and experiment and trial and error. So this was one of them. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Anna, plug all your stuff. Tell people where they can find Hooch Booch and also how they can come to Blind Tiger and experience that.
Yeah, so I started a business in 2020 and now it's turned into 3. So I'll plug all 3 of them. And they all work well together. So all kind of in the better for you category. We've got Hooch Booch. We've got Corpse Survivor. They're both drink Hooch Booch, drink Corpse Survivor. And then our tap room in Denver is Blind Tiger by Hooch Booch. That was a mouthful.
We have a code, right? Recipe?
Recipe 20. No, just recipe.
Just recipe.
Just recipe.
Just recipe.
For 20% off in the tap room, off of Hooch Booch merch, and off of Corpse Survivor, which is such a good deal.
Yeah, we have Corpse Survivor in the fridge. Actually, I'm going to drink some tomorrow. I fucking love Corpse Survivor.
So good.
By the way, this is like a revamp of the Corpse Survivor.
Oh.
And I liked the one before.
It's like extra revamp.
I liked the one before, but it was giving like LaCroix.
Yeah.
This, I drank
So
like an
elevated.
lollipop. I meant to text you the other day. Like, I love drinking this.
You need more.
At like 3 to 4 p.m.
Yes.
It's the best.
I've been drinking it. So I've been thinking about it in the morning, but I'm still drinking my coffee. And then I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm saving it for my afternoon treat.
That's exactly it. Because I'm a beverage girl. Like, have your coffee in the morning and then eat your lunch. And then between dinner, you have your Corpse Survivor.
So good.
It's so good.
It's so good. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Thanks for coming on. And thanks for
so
also helping
yummy.
me cook
Yeah.
and bringing the cocktails. Guys, you can find What's the Recipe on TikTok and Instagram, What's the Recipe Pod. And then also, of course, Spotify and Apple. And then also watch us on YouTube because it's more fun on YouTube.
Especially tonight.
Especially tonight.
Then you can check out our cute meals.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wait, this episode is 86.
Say it.
This episode is 86.
I always forget.